Yo, what is good, everybody? This week, I wanted to give you guys my own personal experience with my first water fast. It was interesting, and I wanted to give you this experience to help you if you're water fasting in this month of January or whenever you might be watching this video. I wanted to help you out, share some stuff with you, and that's coming right up. Yo, what's good? It is your boy Eddie of Remnant Ministries, where our mission is to empower believers to become leaders, so to impact and influence the world for the kingdom of God. If that's the type of stuff that you're into, then consider subscribing. Go ahead and do it. You know you want to. Now, let's get to the video. So, I've shared on this video my testimony regarding my past 10 years or so, and how I had to overcome rejection, how I had to overcome fear, how I had to overcome depression to a point where I was almost suicidal. Well, I was suicidal. But the Lord really delivered me during that time. However, over a 7-year period, I was still feeling broken. I was still feeling just fractured from the things that had happened during that period. If you hadn't watched that video, I'm gonna go ahead and link it up somewhere over here, wherever that link goes. Because it was during that time that, I felt like I lost a piece of myself, and I actually felt like I lost a piece of, I lost my trust in the Lord. Well, if you followed this channel for any length of time, you already know that, in 2010, I went through something really traumatic. Actually, 2009, 2010, I went through something really traumatic. I was married. I got married when I was 22 years old. And I went through a divorce in 2010. And the divorce was really traumatic to me. It fractured some things, and my trust with the Lord had been broken at that time. Now, I got to a point where I was even suicidal. I talked about that in a previous video. I'll go ahead and link it somewhere over here so you can check that out. But during that time, like I was really fractured, but the Lord brought me out of it. But for about a 7-year period, I still felt like something was missing. I felt like there was a piece that was broken. For those first few years, I was dabbling in sin to a point where it was almost too much for even me to bear while I was doing it. And then, I kind of course corrected a little bit, but I was still struggling with many different things that I had allowed come in during that time of being broken and being fractured because of the trauma that I experienced. So up around 2007, I got to a point where I was just like, I'm sorry, not 7, but 17, 2017, not 2007. 2007 was actually the year I got married. But in 2017, I felt just, it was almost like a crossroad. I felt like, something had to change. And the Lord had been pressing in my spirit for a few years to start back fasting. I hadn't fasted since the situation in 2009, 2010. So for about 7 to 8 years, it had been since the last time I had fasted. I felt like I was in this merry-go-round. I felt like I wanted to go deeper in the Lord, but it was just something that just kept blocking it. Something internally that I could feel that was just impeding my progress. It seemed like every time I would try to make some progress, the same situations and frustrations and temptations that I would deal with, it would always just come back to knock me back down. And so in November 2010, I just basically had enough. I had finally given in to the urges, the desires to fast unto the Lord. And so I said, I'm going to do a 7-day fast. And what happened is the 7-day fast morphed into a 10-day fast. But during that 7-day fast, this was the first time that I had ever did a complete and total water fast. Now, I had tried to do a liquid fast when I was in my early 20s. It was actually the first fast that I attempted to do. But during that time, my attitude was wrong toward the fast. I was telling everybody about it. I was still keeping my same schedule. I was committed to my study and reading and prayer during that time. But I wasn't shutting things down that, I had participated in before I even got saved. I was still going out, hanging out, doing all that stuff. But then when I read the book of Matthew chapter 6, And actually, while I was doing it, I was telling friends and all that stuff that I was fasting. So when I read in Luke in Matthew chapter 6, how Jesus said, when you fast, don't even appear to men that you're fasting, but anoint your head and all that stuff. I saw that I was doing the fast wrong, so I broke that fast. I broke it after the third day. And then from there, with the church that I was in, we would do 6 to 6 fasts. So I would participate in those. But this was the first time I attempted to do a complete water fast. Well, it was water and herbal tea. That's all I did. I drank water and herbal tea for 10 straight days. And let me tell you, hallelujah. Yeah. Now, here's the thing. There was a testimony out of that, because the things that I was dealing with, it was broken. It was broken, baby. However, that fast, oh. However, I had read up on how to fast and actually what happened to the body while you're fasting. I had read up on some things, watched videos to the actual practical things that takes place while you're fasting. Now, like I said, this is about my 10-day fast, the first 10-day water fast that I did. So let me tell you about what actually took place. Now, I was nervous. This was the first time that I ever did this. But the first couple of days, day 1 and day 2, they went by, they were pretty cool. You know, the only time that I felt any type of discomfort was during those times that I usually eat. Because like I mentioned in one of my other videos, I believe in the Bible study, that when you eat at a certain time, your body becomes a victim of that habit. So now it's not necessarily that you're hungry, but your brain sends down receptors to your stomach to release gastric acids during that time to break down food. So then during that time, your body says, like, we're hungry, where's the food? But during that time, no food was coming. So during that time, yeah, it was an interesting feeling. And during that time, what I had to do was just drink plenty of water. I was drinking a gallon a day, but when those situations happened in my gut area, I was just pounding water. Anytime I felt that hunger pains, those hunger pains coming, I was just banging the water back. I was drinking about probably a little over a gallon, like a gallon and 2 additional bottles per day. Not bottles of gallons, but you know, the little bottle waters. I was drinking a gallon and plus 2 additional bottles per day, just banging it down, because basically what was happening, your stomach is, because there's no food in there, begins to start to burn away all the other, you know, excess food that's been in there that hasn't been fully digested, and it starts to burn through your intestinal lining as well, not in a place to harm you, but it actually is cleaning out your system. So this is for those folks that's sitting over there talking, you fasted for 3 days on that water fast, you're on your 4th day, because I'm gonna talk about those days too. And you're saying that the devil is trying to get you, and this is not of God. No, this is a natural occurrence. Your body during that time is actually cleansing itself out. And the way it's doing that is through the gastric acids that's now going through and actually cleaning out your intestines. So that is the discomfort that you're feeling during that first, maybe like latter in the 2nd day, 3rd day, through about the 6th day that you're feeling as it's like just going in there. Now, the 3rd through the 6th day, that feeling got a little bit more intense. Yeah, that was when the herbal tea came into effect, because my stomach was feeling something serious. I was in the bed just like, oh my Lord, I can't do this no more. Why? Oh, why? Oh my goodness, why? I actually thought about doing some B-roll while I was in the bed, just rolling around, just to give you the idea of what was happening during that 3rd through the 6th day, because it was interesting. It was interesting. Anytime I was on the internet looking at food. It wasn't about going on social media. I wasn't even going on social media for that 10 days. I had blacked out on social media at that point too, but I was going to Google, looking up restaurants. I was on, Groupon, and I was buying Groupons for restaurants for when I got off the fast. I'm telling you, man, I was thinking about food the first 6 days. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Food was on the mind. To be quite honest, every time I fast, usually that first 6 days, I'm looking at stuff about food. I'm looking at how to cook The last time I was on it, I was looking at about, that's it. That's how I ended up buying an air fryer. I bought an air fryer last year, and it was after a fast. Because I was looking at how to air fry food. It happened, I'm telling you, but I'm talking about the 10 days. I'm talking about the 10 days, that's what we're talking about. Let's get back to it. So yeah, the 3rd through the 6th day, the pain intensified, but your body is cleansing itself. Your body is cleansing itself out of all the toxins that have been, and the residue that have been caked up on your stomach lining. And that gastric acid is actually flowing through and just basically just burning all the stuff, all the excess stuff away. All of it, it's gone, it's going. But then something happened towards the end of the 6th day, from about the 6th to the 8th day. All of the hunger began to cease. The first part of the 6th day, I still was feeling it. It was intense. It wasn't as intense as it was on the 4th and 5th day. I felt it a little bit, maybe the first half of the 6th day. Then after that, it was like my brain and my stomach came into agreement, like this dude ain't eating, man. Just stop it. Just don't even worry about it no more. So the gastric acids and all that stuff that was cleansing, it stopped. And so during that time, because a lot of you guys might be saying like, oh man, you're not eating for 10 days. Your energy must have been horrible. How could you have any energy and you ain't eating for 10 days? Where is the energy coming from? It's interesting that you say that. The energy comes from the fat that's stored in your body and everything else that's not good, not meant to be there, you know? Any type of excess growth, any type of dead skin, any type of loose skin, any type of scar tissue, all that stuff, depending on how long you fast, will begin to become consumed and absorbed and then converted into energy. It's actually a fascinating thing because around the 8th day, I felt, oh my goodness. But that, I'll say about the 3rd through the 7th day, my energy kind of did one of these things because the energy is kind of inconsistent at that point, but you're still able to function very much so. But it was doing one of these numbers. It was, yeah. However, around the 8th day, my energy started to do this. Because at that point, your body is no longer looking for food to convert it into energy. It's now like, hey, this person's not eating. We need to convert the reserves that we stored. And the first reserves that you stored is the fat. So you got any fat on your body? That fat's going bye-bye. So from the 8th to the 10th day, I felt great. Those last 3 days, because that's actually 3 days, 8, 9, and 10. I didn't break the fast until the 11th day. So 8, 9, and 10, that's 3 days. So those last 3 days, I felt incredible. I mean, I felt really good. My energy was up. My desire to get more in the Word had been to a place that it had not been since I was 25 years old. And at this point in 2017, what was I? 32? It was 3 years ago, 2+ years ago now. The math is all off. When you get grown, you start working, you get bills, you get responsibilities. The time just kind of bumps into each other. It like goes by like that. It's very weird. It's very weird. When I was a kid, it took forever to grow up, but now that I'm grown, it feels like yesterday I was turning 21 and now I'm 35. I don't. That was when I used to have waves. I miss those waves. So at the end of the fast, the end of the 10 days, like I said, a lot of the stuff that I was dealing with, it was broken. I mean, the anxieties that I even had around studying the Word was completely eliminated. The desire that I had for pleasing the Lord and doing the Lord's work was regenerated and refreshed. But let me tell you about breaking the fast. Now, as I said on previous videos, when you fast for an extended period of time like that, you have to break the fast with extreme care because your digestive system is not active. It stops. After that's exactly what happened. That's why I wasn't feeling those pains after the 6th day, because my digestive system was just like, man, this dude ain't doing nothing. Man, go ahead, stop the factory. Nah. And basically from that point, like I said, I broke the fast on the 11th day. And this was my first time breaking an extended water fast, but I did my research. I knew that I had to either break it with like some type of warm soup dish or like vegetable soup and really just the stock, and really just the broth. I said stock, I meant broth. Yeah. Or some other type of food that's easily digestible. So like cucumbers, grapes, watermelon, and stuff like that. But I was a little bit too overzealous. I won't even lie to you. Your boy had like a handful of grapes. It wasn't a lot of grapes because I knew I couldn't eat that much, but I had about a handful of grapes. I had a slice of watermelon, and I had a cut up half an apple, plus half a cup of apple juice that I diluted with water with the other half. So I thought I was good. I was wrong. I was so wrong. So I ate it, and no less than 10 minutes later, it's like everything exploded. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, this is a channel for the Lord, but I feel like we're family now. Everything exploded. I had to run to the bathroom. Oh my goodness, it taught me something to not be that overzealous as far as what I'm trying to eat at that first meal. Just do one thing, get a little bit of that one thing, and just just go from there. But I had ate it was like 3 different things. I don't know if my body was just like, what you doing, brother? But it came out really with force. Everything, listen, everything, because basically what happens is your first poop, and I'm gonna get there, your first poop after you finish that water fast is probably it's gonna have a lot of liquid with it. And the reason that's the case is because, like I said, your stomach lining was being cleaned by those gastric acids, breaking down everything. So you might experience that liquid type of poopy situation even while you're fasting around the 5th, the 6th, the 7th day. But generally after you fast, that first poopy sensation is going to have a lot of liquid. It might have some solid stuff in there too, but it's going to have a lot of liquid. And so it just came. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it came. Maybe that's TMI for some folks. I don't know. But it's being shared today. It's being shared because I'm telling you about the entire experience of my first 10-day water fasting. It was an experience, but it was a great experience. And so that's basically it. That's pretty much what happened. Those first 2 days were cool. The only kind of thing that was kind of really rough was my mouth because, you fasted before. Even if you did the 6 to 6 fast, that period you ain't eating. You have what we call in church fasting, bruh. Yeah, that's real. Then from about the 3rd to the 6th day, the 3rd to the 7th day, you start to feel really bad gastric irritation. You feel in your stomach because your stomach lining is actually being cleansed and toxins are actually being flushed out of your system. Then around the 7th day, your body kind of settles, but you're still kind of going through this kind of roller coaster of energy that begins to alleviate around the 8th day. Your energy starts to go up, the hunger pains cease, and you're really like, man, it's all good. And you end the fast on an enjoyable experience. Just remember, if you're doing that type of extended fast, to break it with care. Don't be going eating no chips. Don't be going eating no French fries. Don't be going eating no bread. Don't be trying to eat no chicken. Don't be trying to eat no steak. Don't do that, because you will mess yourself up in a serious way. You will end up in the hospital. I mean, it's a possibility that you might not, but the possibility is very great that you will end up in the hospital. So do not do that. Break that fast with care. Maybe I'll tell you guys one day about my 21-day fast experience, because that was an experience as well. I think one day I might tell you about that situation because, not today. We've already talked about the 10-day fast and we're done now. But one day. Hey, what's good, you guys? I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you fasted on an extended water fast, man, feel free to leave your experience in the comments below. If you like this video, like it, share it. It helps the channel. Man, God bless you guys and have a wonderful day. Peace out. And the squeak is here.